Welcome to the 11, and don't forget to subscribe. If you have a dream and you believe in it, then with dedication and a strong will, no one can stop you from transforming it into reality, and Apple's Incorporation is an example of that dream, which was transformed into a reality by the sheer dedication and tireless efforts of its founders, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. Started in a garage and funded by the sale of a Volkswagen minibus and a programmable calculator, Apple's Incorporation has become the largest company in the history of mankind, with a market cap of $3 trillion. But the story of reaching the $3 trillion milestone is not as simple as it sounds. In 1975, the first commercially successful microcomputer, the Altair 8800, based on a recently invented microprocessor chip, was introduced, and with that, the era of microcomputers began. Stephen G. Wozniak, an engineering intern at the Hewlett-Packard Company, has a plan for a microcomputer, but his employer expressed no interest in his design. The 26-year-old Wozniak, together with a former high school classmate, 21-year-old Steve Jobs, decided to start their own company, and they started their production operation at the Jobs family garage. The working capital was generated by Jobs selling his Volkswagen minibus and Wozniak's programmable calculator. Although their first model was simply a working circuit board, at Jobs' insistence in 1977, they built a standalone machine in a custom-molded plastic case. This Apple II also offered a color display and other features that made Wozniak's creation the first microcomputer to gain the attention of the general public. With Wozniak being a technology expert, Jobs had a business mind and had ideas on how to convert his newborn company into a successful business. To do so, Jobs convinced Regis McKenna, a well-known public relations specialist for the semiconductor industry, to represent the company. He also secured an investment from Michael Markkula, a wealthy veteran of the Intel Corporation. The company became an instant success, particularly after Wozniak invented a disk controller that allowed the addition of a low-cost floppy disk drive that made information storage and retrieval fast and reliable. With room to store and manipulate data, the Apple II became the computer of choice for legions of amateur programmers. By 1980, the company had netted over $100 million and had more than 1,000 employees. Its public offering in December was the biggest since 1956, when the Ford Motor Company went public. In 1981, IBM challenged Apple's monopoly by introducing the IBM PC, based on an Intel microprocessor and using DOS, the disk operating system, from Microsoft Corporation. IBM PC compatible with a wide range of software got the attention of software developers, and with the introduction of its own killer application, the Lotus 123 spreadsheet, it won an instant constituency in the business community, a market that the Apple II had failed to penetrate. In order to regain its leadership in the market, Apple introduced the first affordable graphical user interface and the lower-cost Macintosh, released in 1984. Despite an ecstatic reaction from the media, the Macintosh initially sold below Apple's expectations. As it came to be known, the Macintosh had insufficient memory and storage. The company's revenues were close to $10 billion, and it sold over 1 million computers annually during this era, which was considered to be Apple's golden age. Despite the fact that Apple's products were more technologically advanced, its earnings concealed the fact that its share of the market was declining. In the wake of the poor sales performance, Jobs was ousted from the company in September 1985 by its chief executive officer, John Sculley, and Wozniak had left Apple in February 1985 to become a teacher. With the introduction of the Windows operating system by Microsoft, Apple litigated for years, in vain, to stop Microsoft from copying the look and feel of its operating system, though the Mac OS itself drew upon the PARC, another graphical user interface. Since Apple was struggling to regain its market dominance, in 1993, its CEO, Scully, was replaced by Michael Spindler. However, Apple failed to match billion-dollar orders for certain models while simultaneously building up massive stocks of other models that were unable to be sold. Gilbert F. Amelio was appointed to replace Spindler in early 1996 after serious quality control issues, including a defective monitor line and some well-publicized flammable portable computers, were also present. In December 1996, Apple purchased Next Software Incorporated, the company formed by Jobs after his 1985 departure. Jobs himself was retained as an advisor to the CEO. When Apple failed to become profitable under Amelio and its worldwide market share fell to roughly 3%, the board of directors, in mid-1997, recruited a surprising temporary replacement, Jobs, for the first time the undisputed leader of the company he co-founded. In 1998, under the leadership of Steve Jobs, Apple introduced the distinctively designed all-in-one iMac. Apple's U.S. market share increased thanks to the iMac from a historic low of 2.6% in December 1997 to around 13.5% in August 1998, making it the best-selling Mac of all time. Furthermore, Apple enjoyed its first successful fiscal year since 1995 in 1998. In 2001, Apple introduced iTunes, a computer program for playing music, and the iPod, a portable MP3 player, which quickly became the market leader. In 2003, Apple began selling downloadable copies of major record companies' songs in MP3 format over the Internet. By 2006, more than 1 billion songs and videos had been sold through Apple's website. In 2007, Apple introduced its game-changing and most daring product, the touchscreen iPhone, a cellular telephone with capabilities for playing MP3s and videos and for accessing the Internet. In 2008, with the release of the iPhone 3G, or iPhone 2.0, Apple sold 1 million units in the first 3 days after its introduction. By 2009, Apple's iPhone had captured over 20% of the global smartphone market. Since then, the iPhone has been one of the best-selling smartphones in the world. Later on, Apple introduced other products and services, like the iPad and iCloud. Because of ill health, Jobs resigned as CEO in August 2011 and was succeeded by Chief Operating Officer Tim Cook. Jobs died from cancer that October. In the early years of Cook's tenure, Apple did not introduce any all-new products but rather brought out new versions of previous products, such as the iPhone 4S, which contained a personal assistant program, Siri, that could respond to spoken commands and questions, the iPad mini, a smaller version of the iPad, and the iPad Pro. Dedicated to innovation and product quality, Apple is still adding new products and services to its product line, like the Apple Watch, its own microprocessor, the M1, for Macintosh computers, and more. Propelled by the popularity of the iPhone, in 2018, Apple became the first company to reach a value of $1 trillion. 2 years later, Apple became the first company to double that figure. On January 3, 2022, Apple's Incorporation crossed the $3 trillion mark for the first time in history, but it was for a brief time. In June 2023, the company's shares jumped by 2.3% after the iPhone maker successfully expanded into new markets, and with that, the company's capitalization value reached a new historic high of $3.05 trillion that no other company has ever reached. We hope that the future will bring more success to the company and that it will amaze its customers with new products and services. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to watch more informative videos like this.